Welcome to the Varsity Podcast. I am your host, Derrick. This is a new segment that we are going to be doing that I am calling Chirping About Hockey. Chirping, obviously, being trash talk. Might have a little trash talk going back and forth between us two. I'm a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. Dawson is a Chicago fan. But with that being said, also, this is a new host you have not seen on the show yet. This is my younger brother, Dawson.
Hello.
But he is a very passionate Chicago fan. I feel really bad for him because it has not been a good season this year. But we will get into that later on. But with that being said, I want to start off with our first topic, talking about my favorite team, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and our recent last 10 games. All that good stuff. But with that being said, let us get into it. But yeah, last night Tampa was playing the LA Kings, and it was 4-3 overtime loss. Kind of was playing behind most of that game. Very scrappy King squad. Definitely probably going to see them do something in the playoffs again. But with that being said, I'm all right with Tampa Bay right now. I mean, we're, like 82, I think? 82 or 83 points? Let me check. 83 points in the wild card spot, very comfortably in that first spot. Yeah, our last 10 has been pretty good, honestly. We've actually beaten some good Cup teams. I mean, we've beaten New York, Florida, Vegas. Some really good teams in that mix of playoff teams. I really think we have been doing very well. But obviously, I definitely think we can make a deep playoff run. I think at least Eastern Conference Finals. I'm calling it right here. I'm calling it right here today. Tampa will at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Right now, I think we're getting hot and we are playing very good. Being kind of like almost like an undercover team. I think being, again, like I'm saying, trying to find the word undercover. Like, we're good, but people aren't talking about it as much, which is fine because I'm fine with that, because then teams are going to go into a series, be like, oh, it's Tampa, we're going to be all right against them, and then boom, not going to be. But yeah, with that being said, I mean, what do you think, Dawson? I know you're not a big Tampa fan, but what do you think if we go on and go to win another cup? I mean, it's been a while since them Blackhawks have won a cup.
All right, now you don't need to hate on my Blackhawks, but I don't know. I don't think Tampa's gonna go that far. I think if anything, maybe semifinal round.
So what, like second round, not a conference final?
Yeah. No.
Is that your final? Is that your prediction? Final prediction?
Yeah. Probably second round because it depends because they've lost one and their team's not as good as they've been for the past that they had when they had the 2-year Stanley Cup run.
Oh, I know you ain't talking. When was the last time the Blackhawks were relevant in the playoffs?
See, that was like in the Patrick Kane era and like when we had Jonathan Toews, but
Two players I miss seeing in Blackhawks uniforms, but I'm happy to see Kane is still doing good with Detroit. Awesome to see Kane doing as well.
Yes, that's true.
Sadly, when we went to go watch Detroit versus the Blackhawks, we went for Dawson's Christmas present. I know I'm the best brother ever, but we went to do that, and it was awesome because we were like, oh, cool, Kane got traded to Detroit. We're going to, see him play. Sadly, no, did not see him play in Detroit, so that kind of sucked. Also, that night, you could ask Dawson, the Blackhawks got whooped by Detroit. I think it was like 5-1.
5-0.
No, it was 5-1. But, yeah, I think Tampa is going to make it to the conference finals at least. My biggest surprise with the playoffs this year, I don't know if this is anybody else, but my honestly kind of surprise is that Vegas is out here in like the second wild card spot in the West, which is honestly surprising. Like, I figured they would be doing a lot more solid than that, but they're second in the wild card in the West with 83 points. Nashville is ahead of them with that first wild card spot in the West at 88 points. And St. Louis is kind of on their tail a little bit with 79 in third, still trying to get in there. They're on the outside looking in. But honestly, surprising to see the past Stanley Cup champion almost barely in the playoffs. Like, I know they had Mark Stone, their captain, injured for like what seemed like almost the whole season now, but surprising to me as well. Honestly, if they get in, it might be rough. We might definitely see a new champion this season. I mean, what do you make of
Yeah,
it,
that's
Dawson?
for sure. I think we will. I think I got Vegas. They're gonna get another cup.
You got Vegas winning another cup, going back to back. You
Yeah, I
think
think
you
they
think they're
are.
gonna make it through Edmonton or even Colorado or even biggest surprise this season, Vancouver? I mean, there's some.
No.
It is going to be a tough road in the West to the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I know one thing is I think they're gonna struggle against Colorado, but I think they'll pull it out in the long run.
I definitely see Colorado being. I mean, they're first in their division with 97 points. I mean, 46, 20, and 5. Definitely good. Like, I definitely know about that Colorado team. Sadly, Tampa was not able to get a three-peat for a cup because of
Yeah.
them Colorado Avalanche. That team was, as much as I hate to admit it, that team was solid. They were good. But,
Oh yeah.
yeah, they were definitely solid. Honestly, also surprising, Washington is in the second wild card spot in the East. Right in front of Detroit at 78 points. Washington has 79. Detroit has 78. So that last spot is definitely going to be a fight to the end of the season to see who finally gets in. If Detroit is going to go back to the playoffs or if Washington is going to get in. Also, speaking on Washington, I know we've kind of just been bouncing around on here, but hey, it's just kind of what we do. Washington, Alex Ovechkin finally is getting close to chasing the Great One. He is 50 goals away from breaking the all-time career goals, chasing the Great One, Wayne Gretzky. Honestly, I cannot wait to see if he's going to break it. I have been NHL fan since like 2015-ish, so I've always known of Alex Ovechkin, one of like the first superstars that I kind of learned about when I was getting into the sport. But yeah, I mean, and plus I know of how good he is from when they knocked us out of the Eastern Conference Finals to go on to win a cup. That was fun to watch.
Another L.
That was sadly, that was fun. But I'm glad Ovi got a cup, at least one. But yeah, he is 50 goals away. Honestly, hot take, but I think he might be trying to go for it next year. I could see Alex Ovechkin, if he's playing another year, I could see him going all out and breaking getting them 50 goals or more next season. Hot take right there. I'm taking it. I can see Ovi breaking the goal record next season. What do you think?
That's definitely. I think he will. I think he's at least going to drop either 55 to 60 goals.
55 to 60? I don't know
Yeah.
if I'm going to go 55 to 60, but hot take, I'm going to see him breaking it next year. At least getting really close. I know he's definitely getting up there in age, but I think truly he wants to break that record next year. I mean, 50 goals of chasing the Great One, the almost unanimous GOAT of hockey, at least me personally. But I mean, 50 goals. I mean, that's a lot, but definitely see him doing that next year. And also in other news with Washington, I don't keep up with everybody too much, but Oshie, he is officially 1,000 games in the NHL tonight, or I believe their previous game, they were all wearing 77 for TJ Oshie, being 1,000 games in the NHL. I honestly did not play hockey, but I could not imagine playing 1,000 games. That is a big achievement. Congrats to him. But yeah, I could not imagine playing 1,000 games. My body would be so done, bro. But with that being said, Anaheim and Tampa have started playing. But with all of that, some kind of homage to my team and all that, let's talk about some other NHL news. You being a big Blackhawks fan, I know this definitely has not been the season you guys expected. But again, rebuilding squad with Connor Bedard. he has had a good rookie showing. Obviously, I know the team is not performing the best, but what do you make so far of Connor Bedard's rookie season being an overall solid one? I mean, how have you liked the kid in the NHL so far?
I've liked him. He shows a really good positive to the Blackhawks, and I think maybe next year he's gonna possibly maybe get us at least, if he don't, at least possibly a wild card, maybe if we do a
You
little bit better.
calling it next year, Chicago Blackhawks wild card spot? That one or the
Yeah.
two? The one being
Uh,
solid getting in, or just maybe barely just getting in there and getting the cut to get in?
yeah, I do too.
Thinking that they're just gonna just make the mark to get in there, get the kids some playoff
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
So far, I can
Not
definitely.
saying we're gonna win a cup, but if anything, maybe possibly if he really does good next year.
I definitely think that Chicago as a rebuilding squad definitely has a bright spot in Connor. Definitely, I've liked watching the kid this year. And then even, I mean, he's rocking the bubble, dude. Like, ever since he's honestly gotten the bubble mask, he's just been, like, it's been crazy. It's like, dude, like,
Yeah,
took the injury personal and was like, all right, big comeback right here.
yeah, that's for
Like,
sure.
he's, like, taking everything personal.
He
But,
even had Patrick Kane all like, wow.
you said what?
So what do you think about that Patrick Kane and um about that Patrick Kane hit on the Red Wings that Connor Bedard did?
Oh, when he tried to, when he, checked Kane when they were playing Detroit.
Yeah,
Dude, that was honestly wild. It's almost like he's trying to show he's like, there's a new guy in Chicago now. But no, that was kind of a crazy thing that he did. Well, then what do you make of the? I know this is older news, but since we get to kind of talk about it for the first time, what do you think of the Patrick Kane overtime goal in his first game back in Chicago? I mean, if that isn't storytelling at its finest. The NHL writers were on fire with that story.
I think it was pretty good. I think it's just a little crazy how he's like, well, since I've left, I still got it like I used to in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And I think it was honestly part that I found cool was that it was a positive response. Like him being back in Chicago, the fans were very positive about it, and even just like, imagine getting to watch a moment like that in history. Like that's literally something that's going to go down in history. That like a few years from now, we're still going to be talking about it. Like Patrick Kane's return to Chicago, and he nets an overtime winner. Like few seasons from now, we're still going to be talking about that. I mean, that'd be so awesome to see that in person, and like, it was cool to see an overall happy response from even Chicago fans who were at the game. I mean, just respecting the greatness of what he has done for Chicago, and I think it's one of them things where he'll always be welcomed back in Chicago. Like, I mean,
Oh
when
yeah,
I watched that moment on highlights and stuff, I was like, this is literally storytelling at its finest. This is movie material right here. Like, that was insane to watch. I mean, it's old news, but first time we get to really discuss about it.
yep.
But then other thing that I wanted to hit on, going back to the Lightning a little bit, listen to this stat. This is crazy. So, most of Tampa Bay's scoring and points have at least 50% of the scoring has been by one man on the Tampa Bay Lightning, and that is Nikita Kucherov. 50% of the scoring for the whole team has been one man. And I believe he currently now has, I think it's like, let me double check it here. It's like 15 game point streak, or no, correct, 13 game point streak, 5 goals, and 24 assists in 13 games. That man
Wow.
is truly carrying my Lightning right now, along with some other good players in like Braden Point, Hagel, Nick Paul, and Vassy kind of getting back to the old school big cat we knew. But yeah, say it right now. I'm claiming it right now. If Nikita Kucherov does not get the MVP trophy, or the exact name for it, I'm sorry, I'm not a real hockey fan, I know, I forget the name, but if he does not truly get like the MVP, I'm gonna lose it. Like, he's also leading in points with like 122. And I think second place is Nathan McKinnon with, yeah, he's currently at 123. Nathan McKinnon's at 122. So the race is a little closer than it was. But still, like, it's literally the most valuable player award.
Hello?
Like, if
Uh,
sorry about that. But what I was getting to my point, if Nikita Kucherov does not get the MVP, I'm honestly going to be so upset because, like, the way I see it is the most valuable player. Who has not been the most valuable to their team than Kucherov this year? I mean, literally 50% of the scoring for the Tampa Bay Lightning has been Nikita. And I know the biggest thing, everybody was like, oh, his performance in the All-Star game sucked. Like, he seemed to not care. I don't think that should go into determining an award. And I'm not even saying that because I am a Lightning fan. Like, truly, if it was McKinnon or McDavid or even Austin Matthews or someone like that, honestly, I truly would still say they deserve the award. I think people were trying to slam it at the All-Star game because of his effort, whatever. But I truly think he still deserves the award for being the most valuable player on the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, dude has been our Lord and Savior for the team right now. Like, he's been going crazy this stretch. And honestly, I think in his mind he knows he's up for that award and in that points race. I don't think you're gonna see him out there like trying to give a huge effort. Not like a huge effort, but he's not like sweating to try to get points. Like, I think he's just gonna do what he always does, where it's like he's so calm with it. You just don't even think he's out there until bam, rips an assist or a goal, and he's increasing his lead. I mean, I know I'm rambling here, but just truly think he deserves the MVP. If he doesn't get it, I might lose it. I might flip. I'm calling it now. Nikita Kucherov for the MVP. I truly think he can win it with the way he's been performing these past few games, and if he keeps this up to finish out the season, I mean, it's going to be a really hard case to not give it to him. I just think, truly, that's who should win the award. I mean, do you have anybody else you think should get the MVP, Dawson?
no. I think he should get it.
Yeah, that's right. No Blackhawk gonna get it.
I think Connor Bedard should still get Rookie of the Year, though.
Oh, definitely. He has a solid case. I truly think. I think he definitely has a solid case to get Rookie of the Year. If he doesn't get it... Sorry, my freaking nose is being stuffy because the weather wants to be cold here. I think truly, if he doesn't get it, I'm really going to be surprised. Like, I'm going to actually be like, who is not getting Rookie of the Year? I mean, it's Connor Bedard. Like, look at what he's done this year. Like, he has brought life back to Chicago fans. He has brought them out of the darkness. Like, our team could actually be good again. And, I mean, just as a rookie, he's been putting up numbers. Like, doing really good. Are you looking up stats there?
Yes.
Are you actually?
Yes.
But, yeah, buddy, you got to show me stats. He's going to try to talk smack. He's going to try to chirp. He's going to try to chirp, yada, yada, yada. Let me check the score for the game. Let me check. Sorry, I'm on my phone. I can't screen share with, like, the stuff that I'm using. Using a different software. Okay. It is still a 0-0. How do we only have one shot on goal and it's 12 minutes left and the Ducks have 3? That's been the other thing with Tampa is, like, we haven't been getting as many shots on goal as I wish we could. But you know what? Sometimes that's just how it's how it goes. But
well, one positive this year for Connor Bedard, for his first year, He actually did 21 goals, 34 assists, and 55 points. To me, for a rookie, I think that's pretty dang good. For one that's been out injured, too.
Yeah, he wasn't injured too long, but yeah, that's definitely solid. I mean, just what he's brought back to Chicago, like,
Mm-hmm.
just what he has brought back. But you've probably heard us talking enough. We're going to get into our final segment, which is highlighting another team that we go to all the games and follow a lot. I don't know if you guys follow any of the minor leagues, but we are big fans of the Toledo Walleye in the ECHL, also known as the Coast. That is the Detroit Red Wings minor league affiliate. Down it's like AA hockey, if you want to call it that. But we are big Toledo Walleye fans. We go to games all the time. But let me stop saying that. They recently, just last night, clinched a playoff spot in the playoffs. I am super excited for some playoff hockey in Toledo again. We are currently also sitting at second in the league and like first in the division by quite like 10 plus points. Like I think we need like 4 more points to win the division. So I'm also going to call it right now. I believe Toledo is going to go to the Kelly Cup final. I know usually in the West it can be kind of an easy-ish way to get to the conference finals because the West definitely isn't as strong as the East. Although the one team I could say that is probably going to be tough to go through, and I believe they're in our, 2 of them in our conference. In last year, you remember this, playing against Idaho. They were really good last year. Like,
Yeah.
really good.
That is really true. They just outplayed us that year, but I think now since we've gotten a little bit better and we've had more people actually being more of a team, there's not just one player on the team. There's more, like everybody is playing. They're getting goals. It's
It's
not
more
just one
team.
person leading the team.
Yeah, you don't just have one superstar. Like we got quite a few guys on the team that can score goals. It's not just one guy. I definitely
So it's
agree with
not.
that. But the other team in our conference that is definitely going to be tough in the playoffs, other than Idaho, is the Kansas City Mavericks. They are really good. They are in 63 games, 46 wins, 11 losses, 4 overtime losses, and 2 shootout losses, with 98 points, sitting at first in the Western Conference. And Toledo is at 89 points in second place of the Western Conference. They have 6 more games played than us, but they have been in first for a very long time. So I'm going to call it now. I could definitely see the conference final being Kansas City and Toledo. That series is probably going to be a tough one. I'm
Gonna be a dog fight.
going to say it now. If we can get past Kansas City and get to the Cup, bring the Cup to Toledo. The Cup is coming to Toledo if we can get past them. I'm calling it now because the top 2 teams in the East are the Swamp Rabbits and the Thunder, which I do know the Swamp Rabbits. We went to their place and beat them twice in a row. And then we also haven't played the Thunder. They also just recently clinched a playoff spot. I don't think somehow the Swamp Rabbits haven't either, but yeah, I'm calling it right now. Toledo, if they can get past Kansas City in the conference finals, or even Idaho for that matter, if that's who we're going to play, we get to the Kelly Cup. I'm going to call it and say that we are winning the Cup. We are finally bringing the Kelly Cup back to Toledo since back in the Storm days, like the 90s, if that was even still called the Kelly Cup then. But just some other stuff with the ECHL. I truly think also our top player on our team, Brandon Hawkins, check him out, really good player. He is leading the league with 84 points. Second in the league is Patrick Curry of the Kansas City Mavericks with 76 points. Hawkins is also leading with goals in the league with 37. Patrick Curry also in second with 32. I mean, I truly think Hawkins should be MVP for the ECHL this year. I mean, think about it. Leading in goals and points, and he's going to possibly be breaking the franchise record in goals and points this year. If we could watch
for the second time in a row.
No, he only broke the goals record. He didn't break the points one.
But, I thought you said goals one. My bad.
No, he could honestly probably break both of them, though. I mean, he's close. It'd be awesome to see. And then just a lot of other guys on Toledo know how to score goals as well. Like you said, it's not one superstar. It's more the whole team is dangerous when they're hot that they can score.
That's for sure.
And then the overall goaltending has been solid this year with John Letherman and Jan Bednar. I don't know who is going to be the main guy to step up to the plate in the playoffs. Personally, I think based off recent performance, it's going to be Letherman. But we will see. You got anything else to add with ECHL talk or the Toledo Walleye?
I think another thing is, what's your prediction on, since we have a new head coach for Toledo, Pat Mickish? Do you think he's going to do better than the other head coach?
You think he's going to do better than our previous coach, Dan Watson?
Yeah.
You mean in the playoffs or just overall this season?
Yes. And has he done better overall this season than he ever has? Than Dan Watson ever has?
If we're going to talk about this season, overall, I think our new coach has been good. It was kind of like we were winning for a while there. Then it was kind of up and down. We signed some new guys. And lately, Toledo is on a 6-game win streak, finishing out the season the way you want to finish the season. Finishing strong. With the way he's kind of helped turn around the team when we get into that midseason slump where we win 1, lose 2, win 2, lose 3, kind of like not keeping it consistent. The way he kind of turned it around, I think we'll be okay. I definitely want to see how they're going to perform in the playoffs because you got to cut team, get the most important guys on the team, and that is going to be tough. But I could truly evaluate when he gets into the playoffs on how I feel he's done this season as a coach. So that'll probably be something we'll have to come back to. But I also think Dan Watson was a really good coach. He's also really turned around Grand Rapids, the American League affiliate of the Detroit Red Wings and also the Toledo Walleye. I think he has done very good turning them around and getting them to be a good playoff team. I definitely want to see what Grand Rapids is going to do. And then also how the biggest thing we've talked about amongst ourselves is our old goalie, who used to play for Toledo, Sebastian Cosa, has done a really good job up in Grand Rapids at the start of the new year. But yeah, I think overall just wait until he gets into the playoffs and we'll see how he performs and gets the team going as a coach, because it's definitely going to be tough getting through the West. I think once, like I said, we get into that conference final talk with either, my predictions is going to be we're going to either play Idaho or Kansas City. I think if we can get through them and then get to the Kelly Cup, then I think we'll be in good shape where we could definitely have a real shot at winning the Kelly Cup. I would love to win that. But with that being said, you got anything else to add, Dawson?
Nope, that's it.
All right, guys. Well, I would like to thank you for tuning in to the Varsity Podcast and what we're going to call this little segment, Chirping Hockey with Dawson and Derrick, or maybe even just myself sometimes. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified when we upload new videos. And yeah, subscribe and become a varsity athlete. And I hope you guys enjoy the show and look forward to the next one. We're out, guys.